Welcome to my channel on the best of fantasy. This is the week that was. And I did it again. I missed last week. I just got too busy with work and all, but I am back for another episode of the week that was and delighted to be here. So let's see. I was a pretty busy boy the last 2 weeks, so I'll give you an update about what I did and what I am doing and what I shall be doing in the near future. Lots of exciting stuff actually on the horizon, and I am excited. So let's begin though with what I did on the channel. I had a video that I made about Stephen Donaldson's essays on epic fantasy. And I titled the video "The Literature of Reintegration." And I really think that's a great title because that's a phrase that Donaldson coined in terms of what epic fantasy can do. It can reintegrate us into a feeling that, we are connected with the world around us and with the people around us, that we have a purpose, we have a meaning, and that is essentially what he means by reintegration. And I think his essays are absolutely fascinating, and if I even got a few people to take a look at those essays, then mission accomplished, because that's what I was after. I really think that he had some pretty important things to say about our genre, about fantasy and what it can do. And of course, there are many different types of fantasy, and you can do so many different things with them. But I think what Donaldson was saying makes a lot of sense to me. It really resonated with me, and I appreciate his insights into what the genre can do. And I got a lot of great feedback from you folks, and I think a lot of people enjoyed hearing about that essay who hadn't heard about it before, and a few who had read it also were reminded of some really wonderful things about those essays. And so if you haven't checked them out, I do highly recommend the Donaldson's essays on epic fantasy. So really amazing insights, and one of the great authors of our genre, so worth listening to even for that. I also did the Book Buds tag, which I had a lot of fun with. I had some good answers, some very fitting answers to the questions on that tag, to the prompts, and I found some good buds here on Booktube. I hope you can see from my answers that they are wonderful friends, and I would love some of those imaginary scenarios to actually happen in real life. I don't want to go to jail, and I actually don't want to meet a real dragon, and maybe it's better to just imagine these things. But it was wonderful talking about some of my friends here on Booktube, and it was a bit of fun, and we do a lot of things for fun around here. Because we are here for the entertainment as well as the serious discussions. So I hope that people enjoyed that tag. What else? I had a wonderful time with the third episode of Dear Dr. Fantasy with none other than my friend Jimmy from the Fantasy Network. And we had a 2-hour recorded conversation. We talked a bit before and after the recording, of course, but what everybody saw was the 2-hour conversation that Jimmy and I had on a range of topics. And I think that Jimmy's just a fantastic person here on Booktube. Among all these wonderful people, he is certainly, I think, of him as one of the great community builders, and also just a very eloquent guy. He will not admit this, but he is actually a very well-spoken gentleman, and I think he's got a lot going for this platform, actually. I think he's got a really great way of engaging with people, and a natural charisma, and a really just a genuineness and a friendliness that serves him very well. Plus, he's very well read and intelligent. So I had a great time talking to Jimmy, and he is. I looked at his channel, and I think this is a channel that's definitely going to be growing, I think, in the future. So we shall see. But I had a great time, though, speaking with Jimmy. And what else did I do? I did the Booktube Birthday Tag, because the channel turned 2 years old on February 9. So it's pretty hard for me to believe that I've been at this for 2 entire years. And wow, what a great 2 years it's been. Absolutely wonderful. What a journey I've been on, and I've learned so much from all of you, and I appreciate it deeply. This whole thing would just simply not be what it is without all the engagement and the generous and kind people out there. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And let's see, on other channels and elsewhere, some exciting things happened. One was that A.P. Canavan, a Critical Dragon, or Professor Fireballs if you like, and I were nominated for a Stabby Award. That is one of the awards that is put out by Reddit, the fantasy subreddit, I guess. But it was just really quite an honor to be nominated for this, along with, by the way, Alan and Jimmy for the same category, Best Related Work. So just to have that recognition of what we've been doing on the channel, and knowing that people are appreciating what we're doing, it's fantastic. And to have crossed to another platform and have people there appreciate what we do is extremely gratifying. So I was very, very, very heartened to get that nomination. So yeah, that touched me very much. And I also had a Malazan chat with Joanna on her channel, along with Brittany and Jimmy and Alan, and it was a wonderful conversation, a sort of a Malazan debriefing, if you will. It was spoiler-free, so if you haven't read the Malazan series, I highly recommend that discussion on Joanna's channel. It is a fantastic introduction to why those of us who have finished the series really what we got out of it and what we would recommend for people. And so I think it's a great video for people to watch who have not yet read the series. And of course, people who have read the series, I think, would enjoy it as well, because we say lots of nice things about the Malazan Book of the Fallen there. So yeah, it was a really fun conversation to be in. And I was also in a great discussion with A.P. Canavan from A Critical Dragon on Blood and Bone. We had done the spoiler-free discussion on my channel, and the spoiler-filled discussion came out on his channel, A Critical Dragon. What an incredible book. Blood and Bone, what an amazing atmosphere that Esselmont achieves. Blood and Bone, of course, is the fifth book in Novels of the Malazan Empire, which is the other main series in the Malazan world. And my goodness, it is, he evokes a tremendous atmosphere. And even people who had been to the jungles of Southeast Asia and had left comments on my channel describing how Esselmont absolutely nailed it, how he succeeded in putting them back in that place and feeling as if they were present there. I certainly felt like I was present there. And I've never been to Southeast Asia. But wow, what an incredible book. And lots of great action, as well as some really excellent handling of themes in there, themes of colonialism and imperialism and connection to others and all kinds of great stuff. So highly recommend that series, Novels of the Malazan Empire, especially if you're a fan of the Malazan Book of the Fallen. It's absolutely, not only does it enhance your appreciation of the Malazan Book of the Fallen, but it is a wonderful series in and of itself. So, and what else was I in here? I was in another discussion with A.P. Canavan on A Critical Dragon about the inverse relationship between magic and technology in fantasy. And this is something, it's a sort of almost a trope, I guess, that where you see magic receding, usually it has something to do with the advancement of technology. And this is a very common thing in many, many different fantasies. There are some fantasy worlds where the two seem to evolve side by side, and that also can make a lot of sense. But it's an interesting thing to watch in our genre, how this is handled, the relationship between magic on the one hand and technology on the other. So it was a really great conversation with AP. Highly recommend you check that one out. And it has relevance to all sorts of different series that are loved within our genre. And what am I up to now? Well, let's see here. I am reading Stephen Erickson's Dust of Dreams. We are entering the final phase of our Malazan reread of the Malazan Book of the Fallen and our read of Novels of the Malazan Empire. AP and I are we're getting there. And so, yeah, we're on Dust of Dreams now. I am currently over halfway through this book and being reminded of just how awesome it is every step of the way. I'm enjoying myself thoroughly. And after I finish Dust of Dreams, I will be reading An Autumn War by Daniel Abraham. This is the third book in the Long Price Quartet. And I have been enjoying this series very much as well. This is my introduction to Daniel Abraham's work, and he, I believe, is an extremely talented writer within our genre. So it's been so wonderful to look at his character work and the relationships between the characters that he develops, and the world building in this series so far has been phenomenal. And I am told that these last two books, I have the omnibus edition, so I have both An Autumn War and The Price of Spring in here. I'm told these last two books are even better than the first two, which makes me extremely excited. And another thing that I am reading is J.R.R. Tolkien's translation of Beowulf. And this is something that I'm doing along with Mike from Mike's Book Reviews, and we will be having a discussion on his channel on this translation of Beowulf. And of course, it'll be, I think, a pretty far-ranging discussion on the original poem itself, but also aspects of Tolkien's translation, which is a unique translation of this Old English work. And I plan to pester Mike while I discuss the poem with him by reciting a few lines of Old English. I know that Mike would love that, and I'm sure you would all be into it as well. So you'll have to indulge me once in a while. I do have to dip into some Old English. So yeah, that's just who I am. So, and I'm really excited though for the chat with Mike. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. What else do I have coming up besides the chat with Mike? I have some other wonderful discussions in the works. There will be another Malazan Convergence on Jimmy's channel, A Fantasy Network. He's finished reading the Malazan Book of the Fallen, and it is time for him to have his debriefing, his big discussion, and he's bringing together quite a cast of characters, including yours truly, and also definitely Joanna and Alan, and possibly, I heard a rumor, possibly even we might be joined by Andy and AP, so it would be quite a gathering if that all happens, but it is going to happen on Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. 4 o'clock here on the East Coast of the United States, and we are 5 hours behind Greenwich Mean Time. So I hope to see, that's going to be a live stream, and I hope to see many of you there. It is really exciting to hear Jimmy's final thoughts on the Malazan Book of the Fallen. So yeah, that is coming up, and I also am going to be in some more chats with my buddy AP with A Critical Dragon. And I'm really excited for these. Actually, a couple of them have been recorded already. There's going to be one coming out on my channel, which is AP and myself discussing Song of Dreaming. This is an epigraph poem from Dust of Dreams. And it is, I think, perhaps, I'm going to say it's one of my very favorite poems by Stephen Erickson. And I also would venture to say it might be one of the most important poems in the entire series, one of the most important epigraphs, because of the themes within it and what it points to, its relationship to not only Dust of Dreams, but to the series as a whole. It's an extremely moving poem. And if you watch any of these poem chats, and not a ton of you do, and that's perfectly fine. I know that poetry is not everybody's favorite thing here. But if you watch any of these chats on poems from the Malazan Book of the Fallen, then I would encourage you to watch this one. I think it's going to be a really interesting poem for a lot of people to engage with and take a peek at. And Stephen Erickson himself suggested to AP and me that we take a look at this poem. So, and I'm very glad that we did. And I also was in another discussion with AP that has been recorded already, and that is a further discussion of Stephen Donaldson's essays on epic fantasy. Because what I did with my video was essentially just a summary, and I had a couple little things to add here and there, but I had a much more extensive conversation with AP about epic fantasy and Donaldson's thoughts, and we went on from there to what I thought was a fascinating discussion. and that'll be coming out on A Critical Dragon in the near future. So highly suggest you check that one out. And we are going to be recording some more discussions. I can't say a ton about them yet, but they are Malazan related, and they are in some ways related to AP and me getting closer and closer to the end of our epic reread of the Malazan Book of the Fallen and our read of novels of the Malazan Empire. So AP and I are getting close to the end, and we want to record some very special videos in respect to that. So we have some stuff lined up that I'm very excited about. Yeah, we'll be announcing them when they come out, as they come out. But this is very exciting to me to be getting to the end of this, and I really want to I'm going to make a big deal of it. And I hope that those of you who are interested will come and watch. Some of it will be spoiler-free content for people who have not read the Malazan Book of the Fallen. Some of it will be, I'm sure, filled with spoilers as well. Yeah, exciting stuff coming there. And what else is going on here? Oh my goodness, Dear Dr. Fantasy. So I just had the great episode with Jimmy, and I am so excited for the next one. I've already announced it, but we have a date and a time all settled, and Patrick is going to be joining me for the 4th episode of Dear Dr. Fantasy. I'm really excited to talk to Patrick. He's somebody that I've been in some collaborations with larger groups, but I've never had the chance to just talk to Patrick one-on-one. And he's somebody who I admire greatly, who has done a lot for our genre, both here on YouTube, but also on Goodreads, and just somebody who I think everyone respects and looks up to, and just a wonderful presence here in our community. So I consider myself very fortunate to have the opportunity to talk to Patrick. And I even have the next one. I don't have the date and time yet, but I have the next guest for Dear Dr. Fantasy all lined up, and you'll never guess who it is. It is none other than the long-priced prophet of 5-star strumpitude, Alan from the Library of Alexandria. Yes, I'm going to have Alan on Dear Dr. Fantasy. That's going to be in early March, and I am very excited for that chat. That is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about whatever comes up, but of course we have lots of things in common. We're both educators, and we both read fantasy, and so on and so forth. And Alan and I, we have our differences of opinion once in a while too, and that's also fun. So I am looking forward very much to my chat with Alan. So, and another thing coming up, I mentioned Autumn War. I will be in another group discussion on that, and that is going to be on Sarah's channel, Sarah Reads. I don't know when the date is. I think it's going to be late because I'm the slowpoke here. I think we're going to do that toward the end of February. And I'm not sure if it'll be a live stream or not like the first 2 discussions, but perhaps a live stream hosted by Sarah, though. That I know. And it's going to be with Alan and Nico and Andrew. And I think hopefully this time Zara will be able to join us. So that's going to be a lot of fun, talking about the 3rd book of the Long Price Quartet by Daniel Abraham. And I'm going to be in one other chat that is lined up. We have a date and time actually on this, and that is a Malazan chat with Steve from Steve Talks Books. And I know that Yolene is from Yolene Reads is also going to be in that chat. I'm not sure how many other people are going to be in that one, but I am delighted to be there talking Malazan, Gardens of the Moon specifically, with Steve and Yolene and whoever else might be there. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. Lots of fun, getting into a lot of, not mischief, but this is a hobby, and I certainly have a good time with it. So I'm just delighted to be here and interacting with all these wonderful people, and all of you as well. So thank you so much, and until next time.